Hey, welcome to another video from the Outdoor Analyst. Guys, and possibly gals, get ready for the revival of a brand that in my mind hasn't really been around much in the past few years. They had kind of an explosion maybe 3 years ago, but other than that, they've kind of been out of it for a decade. That's Fallkniven, and today I'm just here to say I've got a new favorite knife from Fallkniven, and to me, this knife has put them back on the map as something that is just special, just absolutely special. Now, my history with Fallkniven, that's kind of what got me into kind of the nicer style of knives. My first one was, I believe, an S1. It was a hunting knife, woodsman knife for me. Used it for a long time. Field dressed a lot of stuff with it. Then kind of went to the F1. Used that as just a beater knife for the longest time for me. And then A1 became kind of like a fireplace knife for me. But for the most part, as far as like me recommending them to other people, I love how tough they do their VG10 420 like J2 San Mai steel is. It's very, very good, but it's just not really impressive. It's very old. It's a great stainless. I've never had it rust on me, which is shocking, especially the conditions I've left that in. They're usually the knife I can just throw in a bag, not worry about it. If I'm going backpacking and it rains, whoop-de-doo, nobody cares. It's gonna be fine. And that's kind of how I thought about it. I used to always have one hunting as a backup, no matter what. And you know, it actually got used quite a bit. But this knife is a fancy Fallkniven and a little nicer steel than my average VG10 San Mai. And this is a lovely thick sheath. And this thing is really in there. Nice dangler. And it is really in. And this is the SK2 Embla. And it is one gorgeous, basically F1 in desert ironwood with a sweet bolster there. What a great guard. This knife is so comfy. It's a little bit thicker than the regular F1 and obviously more gorgeous. And what you'll notice is it's also not a full flat grind. This is a Sabervex, nice and flat up top. So if you're doing basically kindling, splitting a little bit, this does it much better. It does actually split out quite a bit more. And since it's not really a food prep knife for me, this is more of a hunting knife, and then just beat the death out of knife around. That's what the normal F1 is. This is actually, I think this is gonna be my hunting knife this year. It's just gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. And for desert ironwood and the quality of this bolster, like, nobody's doing this for the price these are at. These are around like 300 now. Got mine for a little bit less, which is nice. But this thing is awesome. It is just flat out awesome. Now, let me bring out one of my most used knives. This is garage knife for forever. Ended up putting it in a lefty sheath just because, you know, I always had other stuff on my dominant side hand on my belt. Almost identical blade length. We're talking, yeah, basically same blade, but full flat versus a Sabervex. And the handle, it's more comfortable on the Embla, the SK2. It's just a little thicker, and it's just nice. It's really, really nice. But otherwise, you get a little more space too. Let's put these right up next to each other. The handle is longer on the Embla, and it's not bird beaked, so it gives you more room to do really whatever you want with it. You choke all the way back. Choking up front's great. Not choke all the way back, pull all the way back, I guess, choke up. You know, some people get a little anal about that. This knife's great. I'm absolutely in love with it. It's Lamb COS. In my mind, it's very similar to kind of like CPM 154. They're pretty close, I think. Edge retention, maybe not as tough, but with the San Mai version, you kind of get that toughness. You really do. That is something that Fallkniven is incredible at. Obviously, that comes from Japan, but so Japan's really incredible at it, and Fallkniven's good at handling, I guess. I think that's how that works for them. But these knives are fantastic. And I think I was gonna kind of compare it to, yeah, let's put another comparison out here, just so people have an idea. This is the Bark River Gunny. It's kind of like a, this is the Gunny Hunter actually, so it's a little more, I think it's a little more of a drop point. Very, very similar blade, honestly. Handle, man, I think actually the Fallkniven's more comfortable. For my hand, the Fallkniven's actually a little more comfy. It's not got the same contours, but the thickness for me just works so well. Very, very similar. Very, very similar in the handle as far as length, width, a little bit bigger, a little bit taller. I think that's what helps. It's a taller handle than the Gunny is. Does that really matter too much? Not for what these are meant for. No, this is a honey knife. I love this as a honey knife. This is CPM 154, and I think this is pretty similar. You got a full height convex on this versus a Scandivex on this. They're both awesome, both absolutely fantastic, but this thing, oh, it's so gorgeous. It's gorgeous. That's gonna be my, I think it's gonna be my honey knife this year. I just really do. Could it do bushcraft? Absolutely. Do a little bit of everything, but I think this is gonna be what I wanna field dress Bambi with. So super, super cool, super gorgeous knife. The fit and finish is just really insane, and that's what I'm loving. You're paying for it. This is, and then for Desert Ironwood, this is about $100 cheaper than you'll get with, let's say, that brand right there. Will it come with this plunge grind? That's pretty much perfect. Zero gap in the bolster, zero gaps in the blade and the bolster, which you will always get with a Bark River. Always. I've never had a good one. This is insane. The quality of this is immaculate. Just immaculate. I can't wait to use this thing. This is, I know I just did my top 5. You know, obviously, like, this has got to be put through its paces before it could ever get there for the year. But I just don't see how this won't get there unless something happens to the construction of it. The sheath, you know, it's actually pretty good. It's going to be a pain in the butt to get in and out. It's very tight fit right now. That'll probably loosen up over time, especially if it gets outside quite a bit more with me. But is it a good secure fit if you're like chucking this in your pack? Yeah, it's perfect. Love the dangler on it. Very thick leather. This thing's just next level. It's just next level. And I couldn't be more excited for Fallkniven. Never have I thought of them as being like the fancy knife. This is fancy, guys, and possibly gal. Very, very fancy, very, very useful, which is what I've always kind of thought of Fallkniven's the great utility knife. It's what you know you're gonna just pull out and use when you need something to get done. You don't want to have to worry about it. Lamb COS, very excited to put this thing through its paces, and goodness, oh yeah. I kind of wanted to fancy like an NL5 from them, but then I saw the Embla and Desert Ironwood, and I just knew this was the one. This was the way to go. I probably still want a leather wrap knife, leather handle from them, but goodness gracious, that's hard to beat. Hard to beat with how comfy it is. That's great. Get yourself an Embla. That is my top recommendation for Fallkniven. If you're looking for a good looking knife, that will absolutely do work. I have no question. I know this blade shape, this blade type so well. It's just gonna kick butt. That's what Fallknivens do. They get it done, and now you get it done in style. Best looking Fallkniven, coolest Fallkniven, no doubt. This thing's just amazing. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know this exists. I didn't know about this. Has been out for a while. I just wish I would have known it was out a long time ago, because I would have picked one up. It's so cool. All right, thanks everybody. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Do you like this? Is this awesome? Is this as awesome as I think it is in Desert Ironwood from them for 300 versus usually like 400 from most companies? Is that good, or am I just a little off? Anyway, love it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.